What's up, man? It's Liza Unplugged. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the transatlantic slave trade. Because this is one of these topics in school, we was always taught this, but we never sit down and really question how they was able to pull out this certain event. They always told us the statement that they bought 12.5 million Africans from Africa and imported them into the United States. 12.5. And as we take a look at the statement, they're claiming from 1526 to 1867 that they brought 12.5 million Africans from Africa as slaves, right? This is a statement that they are claiming. But if you know a little bit about history, the transatlantic slave trade stopped in 1808. So if that was the case, they're adding almost 60 years to try to add the numbers up and make it seem like it was bigger than what it was. Because the transatlantic slave trade ended in 1801. So that means the Africans that came after 1809, that means they really migrated here to the United States. So if you take a look, from that time frame, what they're claiming, 1526 to 1867, you get 307 years. So that means that you would have to import almost 40,000 African slaves each year to equal 12 million slaves in that time frame. So, all right, so we're going to keep going. Now, I asked Google another question, and let me zoom in so you guys can see. I asked Google, I said, how many slaves came to America from Africa? And what it showed, I said it wrong. How many slaves came from Africa to the Americas? Between 1526 and 1866, around 388,000 came into North America, which is about 4% of the total number of Africans who survived in the Middle Passage. Alright? So if that's the case, only 388,000 came to America. But in school, they always made it seem like those 12 millions all came to North America. As you can see, they're claiming that most of the majority of slaves came to Brazil and the Caribbeans. That's what they claim. So as you can see, transatlantic slave trade ended in the United States in the year 1808. So that means when you do the calculation, you got to calculate from 1526 to 1808, not 1867. All right. So when you calculate 1808 from the year 1526, you get a 282-year time period. And when you do put this in the calculator, 282 years divided by the 12 million, that means that they would have to be importing 42,000 from a time frame of 382 years to get you that 12 million enslaved Africans. But when you take a look at the transatlantic slave trade, the fake database, but let's go with the narrative. This is what they're claiming. As you can take a look from the first documented time frame of when so-called Africans came into the North America is between the year 1651 and the year 1675. And let me zoom in so you guys can see this. So they're saying around 1,963,000. Now I'm saying between the year 1676 into 1700s, they're saying they bought 10,000 in. All right. So if you go up to the year 1801, and they say 1801 to 1825, they're saying they bought 65,000 in. But remember, the transatlantic slave trade ended in 1808, so all these numbers, they should not be here. It should not be here, because if that's the case, if it ended in 1808, the people that came after really migrated into the United States. And I'm going to prove that by the census records in a minute. But as you can see, they're saying this is how many Africans that they imported from 1501 to the year 1875. All right? This is what they claim. They're saying most of the slaves went to the Caribbean islands, 5 million. That's what they claim. Brazil, 3 million. And you see, look, They say 168,000 slaves came from Africa. But how's that? How are you getting slaves from Africa and import them to another section? That doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. So they need to just take this African part off. But let's keep going. And then when I say then about 9,000 to Europe. All right. So I asked Google another question. I said, how fast can a wooden boat go? Cause I want to calculate the time frame it'll take to get to Africa and to the United States. I want to see the distance. This is how you break this thing down. They're saying most sailing ships goes from 4 to 8 knots with a maximum speed of 12 knots. That's what I did. I asked Google another question, and let me zoom in for you. I said, how many slaves could fit on a boat? Now they claiming as many as 700 enslaved people could fit on a boat. This is what they claim. 700 enslaved people, which carried a crew of 100 and could hold a cargo, okay, as many as 700 enslaved people. This is what they claim. But now we got to take into consideration their distance from Europe into Africa to get these slaves, then transport them into America. You know how long time consuming that is? But let me check this out. Matter of fact, this is what I'm about to do. I want to see the distance between Europe and Africa. I want to see how long it would take by boat. All right, so let's pull this up. All right, we're going to do our starting location. We're going to do Europe. Let me ask Google another question. I'm gonna ask Google, where did most Europeans come? Which part did the most Europeans come from to get African slaves? Let me see what they gonna say. See, they don't want to give me no answer. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick a certain part in Europe. This is on an estimate. Let's do an estimate. So what I'm gonna do, let's do United Kingdom. United Kingdom. All right. And now we're gonna do stops. We're gonna do Angola, because that's where they say most of the slaves came from. So we're gonna do Angola. Stops to Angola. At another stop, let's do South Carolina, because they want to claim that most slaves came to South Carolina. That's the statement that they try to make. But let's type in South Carolina, and I want to see how long it'll take for them to do all this. And let me calculate it. Where is it? Calculate, okay. 166 days at a speed of 4 knots. Remember, they said most sailboats are going at a speed of 4 to 8 knots. So we're gonna take 4 knots. We're doing an estimate here. Look at the diagram. Let me zoom in for you guys can see this. Okay, I want to put this in a perspective for you can see how long this type of event is taking them. It's taking them almost half a year to transport 700 slaves in. They doing all this for 700 slaves. And does that make any sense to you? And then you have to put in the account of food. You got to put in the account of food. You got to put an account of water. Cause back then there was no water bottles. So where are you getting all this water from to keep these slaves hydrated? Then you got to think about, because they said we was all chained up. That's what they statement. They said we was chained up. So that means we was chained up, sitting on the ground for 166 days on the boat. You'd be crippled. You would not be able to walk. If you was chained together, laying down for that long, you would not be able to walk when you get to America. That's common sense. And then you have to put in an account of these slaves defecating on themselves. So now you got diseases on the boat. They had to wipe that whole boat out. and then you just say they bought 700 slaves, and so you tell me you successfully transported 700 slaves and not none of them dying? Cause we know in that situation, everybody on that ship would be wiped out. But let's go with their narrative. Let's just say they somehow successfully transported 700 slaves. It would take them 166 days to do this. That's half a year. That's half a year. And then you gotta drive back to do the same thing. So you telling me they doing all this for 700 slaves? When it's people already in America? Why would you go all the way do all this for 700 slaves when it's people already in America? What sense does that make? Let's go with the narrative. They want to say the Native Americans were the people of the United States. So you tell me they're not enslaving these indigenous people? Why would you go all the way to Africa to get some slaves when you can enslave indigenous people here? So let's use our common sense. Who was the majority of the people here? It was us, not no Native Americans. Because watch when I drop my next video, I'm gonna show you that Native Americans wasn't even here during that time frame. I'm gonna prove it by documentation. But we gotta use our common sense. Who in the right mind is doing all that just to get some slaves when people already in America to enslave? So you telling me, let's go by the narrative. You telling me at the same time they're going to a land in America and they enslaving the Native Americans, which a land they have not yet got. At the same time they bringing millions of Africans in to a land they have not got yet. What kind of sense does that make? So now you have two enemies against one. So that means you have the Native Americans and us as enemies. So we would easily be able to take these people out. But see how the story does not fit correctly? Because it's all BS. But as you can see, let me zoom in. I want y'all to see this. 166 days. Then they had to go back. So by the time they go back to Europe, let's take the time frame, because they gotta go back after get some more. Then again they had to go back to US. So that's about a year's trip, just of what, around 1,400 slaves. See how hard that is. And you telling me they're doing bringing millions of Africans in this way? Let's use our common sense. That is impossible. They would be defecating on themselves. Then you don't have enough food, enough water. You go into land that you don't know. You know how hard that is? You will not be able to do that now. Get a random person and bring them on the ship, tell them to go to Africa. You know how hard that is? They'll go get some people, come back safely. You know how hard it is to do that? You know how hard it is to do that? And during that time frame, they didn't have, like I said, they didn't have no water bottle. Where are you getting this water from? Where are you getting the food from? Because you're going to an area that you don't know. So you're surrounded by water. Where's the food coming from? So you tell me they would have to fish. So that's taking more time up. So it would be actually way longer than 166 days. That is if you go on there on a straight shot. No stops. So it would take almost, it'd probably be like 200 days to do this. 200 days. And you thinking they doing this? Transporting millions of African slaves on this way? We gotta use our common sense. Alright? So what we're gonna do? We're gonna do now. I want y'all to take a look at this. Because I'll tell you, once you use your common sense, it all makes sense. I know y'all seen the show Deadliest Catch. And look how dangerous it is. And you telling me they had wooden boats and they were successfully transporting 12 million slaves by wooden boats? That boat would be flipped over so fast. We need to start using our common sense. This is a steel boat. Matter of fact, I'm trying to make y'all use our common sense. How heavy is a steel boat? That's saying almost about 2,000 pounds. Okay, let's see how heavy a wooden boat is. We're using common sense. 390 pounds. About a wooden boat. 390 pounds. Alright. That's what it say. Look. Let me zoom in for you. All we're doing is using our common sense here. Wooden boats, weighting capacity, it would take about 390 pounds. Okay, it's saying to sink the boat. I want to know how heavy is the wooden boat. 100. It's saying 100 tons. So let me do 100 tons to pounds. 220 pounds. Oh, that can't be right. 200. Yeah, no, it's okay. 2,000 pounds. So they want to claim that the wooden boat is just as strong as the steel boat. So these people lying. But let's take a look. Look how dangerous it is on the water. You telling me they successfully transported 12 million Africans this way? There's no way possible.
317 miles southeast.
Look how dangerous this water is.
Off St. Paul Island.
Look at these. Look.
Harbor Masters.
Put yourself in that situation. Think about a wooden boat
Is there
on
a place
this.
for us to come in and try to tie up?
Roger that. Yeah, we had a weather switch here just within the last.
Look how dangerous it is.
But I definitely think it's doable, so I'm going to bring you on in.
All right, thank you. Back to 16. We come in
Look at these
to
waves. That
offload
wooden boat would be
Jagged
flipped
Ground.
over so fast.
Finish the season up here, I hope.
Captain Wild Bill
Look,
races to make
look.
his final delivery.
You tell me a wooden boat is surviving
Canneries
this?
still open for business.
Come on, man.
Pretty gnarly out.
Look.
Caesar building is getting ugly. There's some breakers
Man.
right inside of us here, so it's no fun right now.
But roiling between the Summer Bay and
Look
the
how
dock
dangerous this is.
is the notorious harbor entrance.
That boat's about to flip over.
In front of me is breakers. And then you look behind me, and there ain't nothing but green and white water.
Look how dangerous this is. Alright? And I want to show y'all how it is at nighttime. We got to put that in consideration too. Driving at nighttime. Look how dangerous it is at night.
Wait for it.
Look how pitch black this is.
This
Look.
is what it looks like in the middle of the ocean at night.
And you telling me they successfully transported 12 million
Wait
Africans
for it.
in the complete dark like this and know where they're going? Come on, man. Let's stop the games. Ain't no way in the world you can successfully do this type of stuff. Look how dark this is. You tell me they successfully navigating through this? Come on, man. Y'all people need to think. Use our common sense. But I got one better. This right here, I can disprove with this right here. Remember, let's go back to this right here. And let me close these other tabs out right quick. See, this is how you know they're playing games. Even when they're on numbers, they tell you the truth. There was so-called already black folks already here on this land. Watch this. All right, remember, they said this is how many Africans they imported into the United States. Remember that number, 364,798. All right. Now we're about to go to the official census record of the United States. Now, I just want to show you this right quick. Was everyone counted in the census? Let's go to the official government website. I found this last time. Let me see if I can find it again. Who was included in the population count? Okay, hold on. Where is it at? I found this on the government website. Okay, here we go. Oh, now this is what I'm not looking for. But let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Take a look. Remember this number right here. This is coming from the Transatlantic slave trade website. Now we're going to go to the official census count of how many so-called black folks was already on this land. And this is in 1790. This is the first census year. Let's see how many people they're claiming. And let me zoom in for you. And I'm going to leave this document below for you. Now, see, first census of the United States. It's all the states published in the United States, 1790. Now, they're claiming there are 694,000 slaves. Now we have an issue. How are we having a higher count of so-called black folks in the United States than the so-called Africans that they bringing in? Come on, man. They told you by their own numbers that it's 3 times a higher count of so-called black folks already here in America. See, I can end it right here to prove my point, but we're gonna dig even further. As you can see, what numbers went at? 694,280. And let me zoom in for you guys can see this. Even with the numbers, they expose themselves every single time. See it? 694,000. Let me zoom in some more. I want y'all to see this. Y'all see that number? Right there. Slaves. 694,000. Let me zoom up. Slaves. You seeing this? You see it? Going down some more. You can't say these people are Africans. Hey, you can say these people were any other race but Africans. But they was here in America already. So it's game over, man. The gig is up. Game over. Alright? So that means there was 329,482,000 people, so-called black folks, already here in America. Than the Africans that they already brought in. We have 3 times the higher count of what the Africans bring with the African slaves that brought in. So all that Pan-Africanism is dead with. All that's done with. Even when they own numbers, they expose themselves. Because they told y'all, because y'all want to believe in this translated slave trade so bad, this is the official website. These are the numbers that they gave us. And this is the official census record, which exposes that was so-called black folks already here in America. So there's no way of getting around this. There's no way of getting around this. Game over. Now, I asked Ancestry this question right here. I said, how many records does Ancestry have? Now, they want to claim that they have 30 billion records, right? I'm just showing you how these people continue to lie. So I said, Google, what is the Earth population? 8.2 billion. So how are you having more records? You got almost 4 times as more records than the people that's already living. How is there only 8.2 billion people, but you got 30 billion records? How does that make any damn sense? See how these people keep lying? Oh, we got 30 billion records. So how are you having more records than the people alive? Come on, man. See how these people be making stuff up? But what we about to do now, we about to get into, we're not going to take their statements without them providing any facts. Because you notice, with those numbers, they're not providing any physical documentation. So I could do the same thing. I could create a fake document and say, and just add some numbers in there and say, oh, this is what happened. But we're not going to go off of that. We're going to look at physical documentation. We're going to see by physical documentation. We're going to see how many Africans are really coming into the United States by physical documentation. We're not going to go off of what they claim, their statement. We're going to investigate it ourselves. So let's get into that. So right now, I'm at Ancestry. And what I did, I typed in birth, location. Let me zoom in some more. Give me 1 second. See, how do I zoom in on Safari? Give me 1 second. I thought it was like Z, Command Z. No, that's not it. Okay, give me 1 second. I go to Google. How do you zoom in? How do you zoom in on Safari? Press command and the plus. Okay. Command and the plus. Okay, here we go. Look, I typed in birth location, Africa, living in the United States. Let's search that up, and we're taking a look at historical records. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Now, this is the number they give me. Let me zoom out. 200. Let me zoom in a little bit more. 253,862. Now remember, the translated slave trade ended in 1808. So we're gonna take a look from the year, from the 1600s all the way up to 1808. We're gonna take a look and see how many Africans are coming in from this translated slave trade. So, all right. So they're saying it's one record in the year 1600s. So let's take a look at this record. I want to see what this shows. Okay, it's saying a birthplace. It's not even the year 1600. So let's X out of that. They got that marker wrong. 1700. It's 31 records. All right. So it's saying it's 2 records in the 1700s. Let me see if I can break this down some more. 1700s. So it's saying it's 2 records. So let's click on those in the 1700s. Let's look at these. And we're concerned about the North America. We're not concerned about the Danish, West Indies and all that. We're talking about the 50 United States. How many Africans will come into the 50 United States? That's the topic of the day. So even it's saying it's 2 records, and the birthplace, Mara. I don't think it's even in Africa, but let's take a look. Yeah, there's nothing popping up with that, so we're gonna skip that record. Okay, let's see birthplace, Queen Victoria. I think some of these records are gotta be wrong. Queen Victoria. Location, let me see. Yeah, it's nothing's popping up, so we're skipping them documentations. So let's go to, let me back it up. Let me go to the year 1770, because that's the next set of records. Okay, here we go. We got Nigeria. Here we go. And it's coming to Wisconsin. This is the first case of documented African. Wisconsin. It's always places you never think about. Wisconsin. So we got 1. We got another one. 2. So we got 2 Africans. Wait, hold on. Birthplace. So it's not even no birthplace for this one. So we got 1. We found 1 African that was here in the United States so far. We got 1 African on the record. So let me back this up. We got another one. 1717. All right. Birthplace. See, it's Minnesota, so that's not even African. Here we got another one, Nigeria. Oh, that's the same person, so we're going to back it up. Let's back it up. So we got 1 person right in the 1700s. This is another one. We're going to go to the year 1780, all right? Birthplace, Midway. I don't think this is even a location. A real location. Nothing's popping up. So we're gonna skip that. I know we're gonna go back to the last document for the year 1700s, 1790. Okay, we got 25 records. So it's saying Danish West Indies, birthplace Africa. We're only concerned about North America. So let's see if we can find any North America records. All right. As you can see, nothing's popping up for North America. So let's back it up. Take a look at the year 1800s. And as you can see, they only got 31 records of Africans in the 1700s. But y'all bringing in 12 million? I mean, I'm telling these people get exposed every time. Okay, let's look at the year 1800. Okay, now we're getting the full breakdown of records. Okay, 1800s. It's saying 88 records of Africans. And we're concerned about North America. So let's keep scrolling down. All this is St. Croix. Okay, here we go. New York. Birthplace Senegal. So we got 1 plus the other one, so that's 2. We got 2 Africans so far. We found 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, we got 30 so far. 31. So far we found 31 Africans so far. Now we're gonna go 1801. Oh no, this is all the records from 1800s. So far we got 31 Africans on record. 31 Africans. But yet, y'all want to believe they brought in 12 million? And these same folks say, oh, we have 30 million records. Where's all the African records at? Because if you own the land, you are being counted on the census. So I don't want to hear, oh, all the people was counted on the census. Yes, they were. They are BSing us. Where's all the African records? So we got 31 records, and they saying they bought 12 million in. Matter of fact, I want to see the percentage on that. So this is what we're about to do. So they're saying, what is 31% out of 12 million? It's calculated. So 0.2%. Let me zoom in for you to see this. So they only, out of 12 million, they only got 0.2 records of Africans. And this is factual. If you don't believe me, prove me wrong. Show me 32 records of Africans during that time frame of the transatlantic slave trade. From the year 1526 to 1808. There's only 31 records. 0.2%. Oh, man. It's not even 1% of records that got up Africans. But y'all want to believe they bought 10 million Africans? It's time for y'all to wake up. I do want even better. Just to prove my point. Watch this. We're going to type in birthplace United States. U.S. Look at historical records. The race black. Let me zoom in for y'all can see this. Birthplace United States. Living in the United States. Race black. Exact historical records. Watch what pops up. Just look at the numbers popping up. 447 million. Come on, man. 47 million people, so-called black folks, already in the United States. And then from Africa just shows you how many Africans they imported in. They got 31 records of Africans in the United States. When we just type in the word black people and living in the United States, born in the United States, 470 million documents pop up. 47 million documents pop up. But y'all want to leave? They bought 12 million Africans in. Where's the records at? See how they get exposed every single time? Stop playing with me, man. Zoom out. And we're gonna take a look. Let's look at the same time frame of when they 1526 to 1808. Let's see how many is popping up. As you can see, 1800, over 1 million plus records. 1 million plus records. When we do the Africans during the same time, 1800s. I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna zoom back. Excuse me. Zoom back some more. Same time frame, 1800s. We only got 40,000 plus, and that's after the translated trade. See, most of the Africans, they migrated in willingly after the transatlantic slave trade. And it came in by high numbers around 1840. This is when most of the Africans start popping up around the year 1840. As you see by the record, 6,000 of them, 7,000, right after the transatlantic trade. Almost 30-something years later. So all these people right here, they wasn't slaves. They migrated in willingly. So it's game over. 47 million records of Aboriginal so-called black folks. So it's game over. And I already told you by the numbers that they told you there was more black people already here in the United States than the amount of slaves they brought in. So it's game over. This is historical, physical records. And if you can't produce 100 documents and show me 100 documents of Africans in the United States, I don't want to hear nothing else about they brought 12 million Africans in. No, they did not. We got the physical documentation. Physical documentation. So it's game over. These 47 million documents, people recorded already living in the United States. They ain't come from Africa. We got the African documentations. How many people coming from Africa to the United States? We got those records. So it's game over. And this, look, I'm gonna show you how these people continue to try to hide the existence of us on this land. I'm gonna show you. Watch this. I asked Google. I said, let me zoom in for you to see this. I said, when did black people first come to Alabama? Black slaves arrived in present-day Alabama during the late 1800s and early 19th century. Now, they said, pay attention, they said black slaves arrived in the area during the late 1800s. But check this out. Let's do the same thing. We're going to type in living in Alabama 1790. We're going to type in the race, black. 1790, Alabama, U.S. Nationality, black. Historical records. Oh, also pops up. 0 records. But this is the trick that they use to try to hide the existence of these so-called black folks in all these different areas. This is the way Ancestry try to hide these documents. So what I did, I said, let me do born in Alabama, 1790, Alabama, USA. Historical records black. And let's see what pop up. 200 people living in Alabama. But black slaves first arrived in Alabama in the year 1890. So if that's the case, if black slaves arrived in the area, who are these people living in these areas in 1790? You're indigenous people. You can do the same thing. We can do 1800. Let's go to year 1800. Let's see these numbers. It's gonna rise. Watch. $889. All right. Let's take it up 10 years. Let's do the same thing. 3,000. Let's go to another year. And it's searching right now. 11,000. But these black people, they didn't get into the area to the 1890s. So who are these people? Thousands and thousands of so-called black folks being recorded in Alabama during this time frame? These are Aboriginal people right here. But black folks are getting there into the 1890s. When the historical records say differently. See, this is why it's important to start taking what they say and do your own research. This is physical documentation. Physical records. So it's game over. Now check this out. This is why they gotta lie and say these people wasn't in these areas. Like this coming from the Department of Alabama Archives and History. Take a look at this. Between the 1790s and 1832, the Creek Nation negotiated roughly a dozen treaties with the United States 1790, 1832, and 1832. Who were these folks living in these areas? We was living in those areas during that time frame. This is why they try to try to say, oh, black folks came later during that time. Because when you look at the history, around 1790s and early 1830s, it was black folks already in those areas. And Native American wasn't there. All you gotta do is type in Native Americans or Indians, and that's just gonna pop up. Because we was the Indians, we got reclassified. No Native Americans wasn't there during no time frame. I'm gonna drop that in my next video. We gonna get to it with them. But this is why they try to hide your existence during those certain time periods, because they don't want you to know that your ancestors was one signing those treaties and everything. This is how they continue to hide history. This is how they do it. But I just showed y'all 31 records of Africans coming from Africa into the United States. 31 records. But y'all wouldn't believe they brought 12 million in? Where's the records? Because if you are living on this land, they count you in the census. Straight up. So it's time up for the games. Because I just showed y'all, they're saying 47 million of us are already here in the United States, who born on this landmass. They come from Africa. Because I just told y'all who was the Africans. I showed you exactly 31 Africans was recorded coming from Africa to the United States. I just showed y'all that. They can't even show you 50 documentations. But y'all don't believe in that story. 0.2% out of 12 million. 0.2, not even 1%. They can't even show you 1% of the records. Because the story didn't happen. They lied. I hope you guys are seeing this. That should make you question everything. And like I said, even with their own records, they expose themselves. They're saying they're about 388,000 in. Okay, who was these 47 million people already here then? Million plus. The historical census say it was 694,000 slaves they claim. Which means it's 300,000 way more people who already here than the slaves you brought in. So let's stop the game. And I want to show you guys one more thing before I end this video. I want to show you one more thing. This right here. This is my fifth great grandfather. This is my direct blood. Let me zoom in. This man right here, Samuel Knuckles. He was a big person. He was part of the Reconstruction era in South Carolina. So I just found this out and I researched him. And look what pops up. They even got a Wikipedia on my direct ancestor. And look at how they try to turn the narrative. And I'm gonna re-edit this because Wikipedia you can edit. So I'm gonna re-edit this. They want to claim Sam Knuckles was an American legislator in South Carolina, which he was. He's represented in Union County. He gave testimony about a campaign used by Democrats in the Ku Klux Klan in 1870. He testified that he was a former slave and could read a little bit. See how they try to make it seem like he was a slave? But there's zero records on this. I researched the records. There's no records of him ever saying he was a slave. Let me go back to my tree. He was living with all his family. Look, occupation farmer. It's all his kids, all live in the same house. How was he a slave? But they gotta say he was a slave. Now they gotta throw it in there. Oh, he was a slave. So how's the slave got power during these time frames for 1860? How's the slave have power like this? You gotta use your common sense. He's a politician. They ain't finna let no slave during that time frame have power like this. See, we gotta use our common sense. But it really pissed me off when I found it out about my ancestors. How they got a whole Wikipedia and trying to make a narrative. And look, who was Samuel Knuckles in slavery? See how these white folks do? It's always them trying to paint your family history. Look, some woman named Gail S. Who was Samuel Knuckles in slavery? Just making up stuff, man. They got Samuel Knuckles archives, digital library. They even got this at the National Archive, Library of Congress. This is the radical members of the first legislation of South Carolina, and this is my ancestor right here. Oh, he's on 1, 2, 3, 4 on the fourth row on the right. All the way on the right. And this is the Library of Congress. But this is how they continue to try to hide history. This is how they do it. And that pissed me off when I seen that. They've got a whole Wikipedia dedicated on my ancestry. They try to turn his image, trying to make it seem like he was a slave when he wasn't. I got the family tree right here. He wasn't no slave. 0 records of him being a slave. 0. Born in 1811. Early 1800s. But this man got power like this? But he was a slave. Man, come on. It's game over. It's time out for the games. It's straight time out for the games. All that Pan-Africanism was dead with. I just showed y'all that they only brought 31 Africans in. And I never said there wasn't slaves here. It most definitely was slaves. Slavery did happen. They didn't go to Africa to get these slaves. That's did not happen. They enslaved the people here. Like I said at the beginning of the video, why are you going almost 160 days trip just to get 700 people and do all that when there's people already here in the Americas? Which I showed you, and with their own numbers, they showed you. So why would they even do that story? But they gotta say you was from Africa. That way you don't know that their land is yours. That's why they gotta say you was from Africa. This is how they continue to take the land. This is what happened. They reclassified you as black, and let me pull this up. Race versus nationality. This is how they do it. I'm gonna show you right here. This is how they do it. Race, look, I hope y'all can see it. Let me zoom in some more. Race is a categorization based on physical traits and skin color. So if you automatically have the skin color, that puts you in the black category, no matter where you come from. So this is how they do it. They made that category black. Anybody with that color, they put you in the same category. Nationality refers to a person's citizenship in a particular county. Ethnicity is described by a group of individuals. So race is a man-made concept that puts you in the black category automatically with this skin. And then that's how I say, all black people are African. No, we was not. Let's stop the games because we got the physical documentation. They only brought 31 Africans in from Africa and imported them to the United States by physical documentation. But they want to tell you they bought 12 million. Where's the records? Because it shows you 47 million records of our ancestors already on this land. So I don't want to hear nothing about that Pan-Africanism. That is dead with. Transatlantic slave trade did not happen. They enslaved the indigenous people here already on the land. Watch this. If we're going to type a keyword, we're going to type in enslave. Like I said, they enslaved the indigenous people here already in America. And when we talk about enslave, slavery, where they say, oh, your ancestors were slaves. You know what the new word of slavery is today? Employee. See, this is the big secret they don't want you to know. Slavery and employee is the same exact thing. Those slaves will go work for on that land and pick cotton and things of that nature, and they would pay them. Cause they always want to make it seem like they was forcefully doing stuff like that. They was getting paid. It was a job. It's the same thing. You go to your employer, you do what they say. Go home, they give you some money. It's the same exact thing that happened back then. It's the same thing. We are all slaves. Don't you get it? We are slaves to the system. We are all slaves. You white folks too. You're all slaves. And I showed you in that last video of that white person picking cotton. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it back right back up in a minute. Give me 1 second. Just to prove my point. We type in enslaved. We type in Zach. Watch how many records pop up. Oh, they trying to hide it. They trying to hide it. Cause last time I did this, it bought oh, my fault, I messed up. Race. I'm trying now. Cause last time I did this, it bought 3 million records up. Okay, 4 million. Let me zoom out. And these people who they was enslaving was indigenous people already on this land. As you can see, 4 million. We got the highest records in Virginia. Virginia was the highest state of slaves. Georgia was second. South Carolina, 500,000. Louisiana, and so on and so on. And the record dates, here's the record dates right here. So as we can see, I never said there wasn't slaves. I'm assuming if y'all can see that number. It was most definitely with slaves. But y'all enslaved these people here. Y'all gotta enslave people from Africa. Y'all enslaved 31. So we gotta start changing the narrative. We gotta start changing the narrative. They enslaved us, the indigenous people of America. And it was not no made for Americans. Y'all was not here. And I'm gonna put that in my next video. I'm gonna do a part 2 of the Native Americans are not indigenous to the United States. So it's game over. Let me show y'all this last video. This white slave. The white people being slaves too. And we're gonna end this video. We gotta change the narrative. All right. I think I saw this in the last video, but we're gonna show it again for people who didn't see it.
Second major crop upon which the Old South depended for its wealth was cotton, whose cultivation was enormously stimulated by
Look at the white people. Look,
new processing machines
picking cotton. Y'all see them? Look,
which
look.
Eli Whitney patented in 1794.
White man picking cotton.
The South soon became the cotton king.
Let's fast forward a bit more. Look, you see, a white man and a black man got the cotton. Look.
Only an exporter of raw cotton.
So right here exposes the truth. So you see him working in the field right here.
All farms.
Yeah, I see it.
Operated by tenant farmers. On these farms, worn out by years of
Look. See some of the white folks right here in the background right here. So it's time out for the games. We have to retrain our minds. Pan-Africanism is dead with. I just showed y'all they want to import 31 Africans to the United States. Show me 50 records. I bet you can't do it. During 1500s to 1808, because the translated slave trade ended in 1808. So I don't want to hear none of that. It's game over. And even if you say that African slaves was here, I never said they wasn't. There's only 31 of them. And when I told you 47 million of us being documented was already here in the United States. Indigenous. So like I said, prove me wrong. I bet you can't do it. You need to start rethinking everything they taught you in school. Straight BS. We gotta start using common sense. Let me say it again. The translated trade trade did not happen. They took 31 slaves from Africa. 31. So I hope you guys learned something new. I just showed you all white people picking cotton. So you gotta rethink what they told you. They never told that in school, didn't they? You should hide this type of stuff. The records does not lie. Math does not lie. It's game over for the games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The next video I'm gonna drop is gonna be on the Native Americans. And I'm gonna show you that these folks did not get here until around 1860. They get right into the United States around 1860. And we're gonna take a look at the first documented Native Americans that they claim. We're gonna examine their statement. We're gonna take a look at videos. And we're gonna see how they look compared to the peoples of today claiming to be descendants from these people. And you're gonna see the color of their skin does not match. Their phenotype does not match. But these same folks want to say they are indigenous to America. Well, we all know, every colonizer recorded said that they seen copper-colored individuals on the land. And we matched that description. So it's time up for the games. But yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Peace.